This is Joe Pavich Jr., and welcome to the Joe Pavich Podcast. This show is all about real people, meaningful conversations, and a splash of real estate. Welcome to the Joe Show. Today I'd like to introduce my guest, Andrew Regenhard. Andrew's the owner of Fort Myers and Naples Real Producers. Andrew is all about the other people, promoting agents, pretty selfless, doesn't like to talk about himself. And today we're going to put him in the spotlight. Andrew, great to see you. What's happening?
What's up, Joe? Well, it's an absolute privilege of mine to be able, and an honor to be on here.
Thank you.
On the Pavich Show, baby, with you.
Thank you.
I'm really honored. I'm excited to share some of the things I've learned and talk a little bit about what we do, within Real Producers.
Love it. Well, it's like an interrogation room. I got the spotlight right over you, right? I'm asking you questions. That's great. Well, it's so great to be sitting here with you. And usually you're sitting on this side.
Yeah.
So we're switching seats today.
Yeah, it's kind of weird. Like usually when I rock the podcast, I'm in that seat, interviewing guests over here. Today, I'm in the guest seat.
Yeah,
I'm
love
excited.
I got to give you some props, Andrew. Seriously, I mean, I seen all your podcasts in the beginning. You were doing shows and promoting other agents and magazines. And I mean, we're going to talk about that later. But, your podcast kind of inspired me. And I came to you and I said, Andrew, what do you think about me doing a podcast, right? So you're one of the reasons.
Well, I appreciate that. I've learned a lot. Hopefully I shared those from the get-go on the do's and don'ts of a podcast, right? I think I was pretty truthful with you right away. I said it's a lot of work, right? It's hard, scheduling it, getting the guests, like the content. I mean, being a host is really challenging. So I want to give you mad props there because you have to control the narrative in a sense. You have to keep your guests on track.
That's
and
right.
Different things like that. So kudos to you on taking that leap of faith, trying it, getting super uncomfortable because at the end of the day, that's when we learn, right?
Yeah, you have to get uncomfortable for sure.
You're crushing it there.
Yeah,
so.
Thank you so much. Well, it's funny because you sit there most of the time with me, right, during a show or when we're filming out there in public. And I love how you'll say, nope. I don't like that one, right?
Well, we're here to create content, right? And people don't realize that there is going to be a ton of mess ups. Then there's going to be a ton of different times. And
That's right.
Instead of trying to sugarcoat it, we're just in the world of we got to get it to the short amount of time to be able to complete the task.
That's right. Yeah.
So, I mean, I'm sometimes maybe a little blunt on it, but I'm like, nope, that was bad. Crop that or don't say that or take that part out, whatever it is. But it's at the end of the day, we have to get that finished product in the shortest amount of time. So let's not dilly-dally.
Yeah, exactly. Well, we talk so much about different things and social media and everything. You do have to get uncomfortable before you can get comfortable. Do you ever really get comfortable though, right? Yeah.
No matter what. I mean, literally, I was recording videos yesterday, and I screwed up so many times. People forget that what you see in the finished product, if it's a magazine, if it's online or whatever, that's the perfect one, right? That's how many takes it took, how many times did it take to get to that spot,
that's
right? And people keep forgetting. So sometimes when I get a guest or I'm doing a video with someone, I'll pull up my phone because I probably just did a video, and you have to scroll on my video, 4 across, right. 10. It's there's 50 videos there, but I only created 2 out of it.
Yeah.
People forget that.
It was so funny to hear you say that because I thought my phone looks the same way. I got 50 takes and just a couple good ones, and that's what it's all about.
Yeah.
But you can't be afraid to just do it, right?
No.
Just put yourself out there. Make it happen.
And the only way you're going to get better at it, right? You're a big sports guy, repetition.
Yeah,
right?
Exactly.
Put in the work, put in the practice, right?
Yeah.
If that's in real estate or if that's in video creation, it doesn't matter. Once you get more under your belt, you're going to get better at it. So the first step is to go mess up, go do it, create that video. And trust me, you and I both probably have looked back at some old videos and we've cringed.
That's right. Yeah.
But who cares, right?
That's right.
At the end of the day, great. Go look at my old videos. Now look at my new ones.
We hear ourselves talk right now.
I hate that.
You see yourself on video, but hey, it is what it is.
Yeah.
So Andrew, there's so many different directions we can take this podcast, right? About how it worked and in the beginning, what it was like. We're going to go down that path later. Before we go down that path, though, take me back. Take me back to the big guy when he was little. Were you ever even little? I don't think you were even
I
ever
came
little.
a month early, and I was still almost 8 pounds or something like that, like 7 something. So I was a month early.
I thought you were going to say you were born, you were 6'5",
yeah, that too, right? So my mom's like, I'm just really glad that you were a month early, because she's like, I did not want to have any bigger of a baby. So I grew up in Wisconsin, small town, right by Minneapolis, Twin Cities area. I loved it up there. And, Wisconsin has got a, kind of close part to my, a soft spot in my heart. And I do miss it in a lot of ways, but I love being down here. After that, after high school, I went to University of North Dakota. I went there for aviation. So everything I did prior to moving down here to Florida was related to aviation. So I got my aeronautics degree, an emphasis in drones up at the University of North Dakota in Grand Forks. And I became a pilot and a CFI. So I worked all the way through all the different ratings, instrument, multi-engine, and then I became a commercial certified flight instructor. And that
At
was
what age? At what point was that? What age?
So I was still technically in school and finishing up school. So I'm 20. I guess it'd be like 22, 23 at that point. Once I got that final. Yeah, 26. I wish. And I really. It was kind of surreal, honestly, because I was still in college, but I was teaching like the young ones, right? Yeah. If that makes sense. Really cool thing. Side note, I had a student from Hawaii, and I was instructing him to become a pilot. He was from a small island, didn't even have a DMV. So he came to college without a driver's license. So he took the shuttle. And we got him a pilot's license. He could legally fly a plane before he could drive a car.
That's unreal.
Isn't that cool?
That is unreal.
So he was 18 years old and could fly a plane. So super cool, very rewarding. I learned a lot of patience. I learned how to work with different individuals, their learning techniques. But it was super rewarding to see that. Transition, I didn't want to be in North Dakota forever, and I had an opportunity to work for a company called Northrop Grumman, which was a defense contracting company. And so what I did is I would deploy with the military. I was never an enlisted individual or soldier, but I would deploy with them alongside. So I'd go overseas, live on the base with them, eat with them, live in the same spots, all the same things. I just didn't wear a uniform.
Okay.
And then I was, at that time, why I got picked up and worked in over there is because I was flying the big military drones. So twin engine, big aircrafts. It was a lot of fun.
How big is a military drone?
They use a runway. They got two monster, diesel engines, pretty much.
And you flew those?
Yep. So we flew those in theater in Afghanistan.
I'm gonna have you start doing my drone videos and drone shots.
Right? Those are multi-millions, and then the payloads alone were multi-millions. So pretty crazy stuff. Not what, obviously, the normal general public has at all. So pretty intense. But talk about a reality shift and total, flip my world upside down. I went from a college kid, right? Literally a college kid to a young adult when I deployed, because, you land in Afghanistan and what's your concerns now?
Yeah, that's right.
It's not, running around, going to the bar, watching the football game with your friends, going to the gym, those kind of things. Yeah. It's like, well, we got to catch some bad guys,
That's right, yeah.
Got to stay alive too, So it's like the world just shifts. I became a man overnight pretty much. Jeez. It was crazy. So,
just when you think, it's living life, you deal with challenges, right? That's probably helped you in life, because you've seen a whole different side of it, right?
Joe, it's unreal. I remember the first time I had to come back, during a long deployment to Afghanistan, and I was in line at Starbucks, and I was witnessing a lot of things, right? And I was seeing how bad, in a sense, the world was in certain parts of this, different countries in the world that we live in. And then I'm in line to get some coffee, and this lady just flips out because it's not a venti, triple, sugar-free, all this thing. Right. And she is yelling at this barista person, and it's just that's her concern, and that's her frustration in life right now, and that's what she's mad about. That's when I was witnessing people, they were just happy to be alive.
That's right.
Yeah. And they were just happy to have, you give them a battery, right? And just sense of power to be able to light a light bulb. And so it's worlds are just totally different. So perspective was huge.
Yeah, that's amazing. Thanks for your service, by the way.
Can't say that because I was never enlisted. So
you were. Okay.
I could technically leave, even though my job was over there and whatnot.
Well, hey, you're here today, right?
Yeah, I'm here
in Naples, Florida.
Yep. So I worked out in Washington State for a little bit after that, subsidiary Boeing, and I was an instructor drone operator. And then life threw me a curveball. So I was out there, comfortable, happy, And then my parents were down here. My dad wasn't doing so good. He had Parkinson's dementia, and was definitely going downhill pretty quick, unfortunately. So I made that decision to see what's up in Florida. Really, is what happened. Is I liquidated, sold my house up there, and I came down to Florida in 2019.
So your parents were here before you got here, then?
Correct. Yep. That was really the only reason I moved to Naples, Florida. I had no clue really, besides a visit here and there. I didn't know anything. I didn't know anyone. But I knew, to first of all be there with my dad. For as long as I could, because he wasn't going to be around for much longer. And then on top of that, help my mom kind of through the process.
Sure.
I'm the only child. So, having that support when a person's going through losing a loved one is really, really important. So
I can only imagine. I mean, how old was your dad when he passed away?
He was 67.
Okay.
67.
When you're younger, 18, 19, 67 seems kind of old, right? When you're a young kid. But then as you get older, you go, oh, my God. I mean, I'm almost 50, so, not
look
there
30,
yet.
Joe,
yeah, I feel 30.
No, 67 is way too young in this day and age.
It's just so young. And as you get older, you realize, man, it's just amazing, at that age, right? So you've been through a lot, right? Military, Afghanistan, your father passed away at a pretty young age. I mean, you're a leader, right? Is it hard for you, to not, call your dad, or I know your mom's a role model to you, but I mean, what's it like today?
Yeah, it's kind of weird because there's so many things when you grow up that you are excited about, right? Like one of the things, I recently got married, right?
Congrats, by the way.
Thank you.
How long ago?
That was in March, so
okay.
I mean, 8 months ago.
Yeah,
getting
your
close.
Anniversary.
Yeah.
You got to go big on your 1 year anniversary.
I know, she's telling me that. It's things like that, not having him, in the wedding, right, and having an empty seat, and it's things like that you really hope for. Obviously we want kids, and it's like, all right, well, they won't ever know their grandpa, right?
That's right. Yeah.
Or obviously my side. So it's those things that are kind of really will get me.
Those moments get you for sure.
I will say this: if you've gone through losing a loved one that was suffering, though, there was a point when I was experiencing, my dad and my mom was experiencing as well, as we were watching my dad suffer. And he was such a healthy guy. He was such a just help anyone and do everything, so independent. So to see him in a state where almost a vegetable at that point.
Yeah.
And see that disease affect him, we were praying to God that God would take him, right? Because at what point, why would you want to be there, right?
That's right,
in a sense, and we could see the frustration, everything like that. So
quality of life, right?
Exactly. So I'm really glad he wasn't suffering anymore. But obviously losing him, was detrimental.
Sure.
So yeah, I experienced a lot.
Your mom's, everywhere. I see her all the time.
She's awesome, right? She's helping you guys out.
You got me using her now, staging,
design.
Sold that house, by the way.
That's awesome.
I
Congratulations.
didn't tell her that because it went down last night.
Oh, well, good news. Yeah. That's awesome. So she's excited about that.
She is awesome. And, I'm sure your dad was a great guy. I always tell my kids this. Life is right now, right, today. You just hope you're there tomorrow, the day. You always have to be careful to what you're doing and be aware of your surroundings and just be there. And I always say, hey, guys, I love you. And I give them a kiss and a hug every day I leave. You expect us all to be this family forever, right? But, you got to, love them in the moment and just hope that, I'm here forever, right? You want to live forever. This is a Jay-Z song, isn't it? I want to live forever, the old remix.
There's so many eye-opening experiences nowadays that really can affect how you go about your day, right? And if it's personal or if it's in this world, you see all these, let's say car crash, this or that, or we just, I was just watching the news and the police officer, just a normal traffic stop, and was killed, right? And it's he's not going to go home to his family now.
That's right.
So it's things like that, I don't know what it's going to take for everyone to realize that, but please understand that life is short. You need to enjoy it. You need to be, love your loved ones.
As a kid, you have no idea.
No.
You think your parents will be around forever, right? And yeah, it's tough for sure.
It is.
I always tell the kids, hey, Just be cool. Just understand life. But you can't teach, 10-year-olds, 12, 14. Joey's kind of getting it now, but it's tough for them to understand these things happen.
The one thing I can relate, life is the same exact thing with kind of the aviation world, right? We have so many rules and regulations. We've learned so much in aviation because of so many accidents, unfortunately.
Sure.
It's the same thing as if you've dealt with losing a loved one, you've dealt with something traumatic, you're then going to appreciate it way more. And unfortunately, until you kind of go through that, it's hard for you to really get perspective.
Yeah, you're right. You just learn so much so quick. I mean, you've learned more in your 23 years of life than most people have gone through. 23. I'm trying to help you out, man.
Yeah, a little plus 10.
I'm trying to help
if you do your math wrong, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, I've learned a lot there, and I think from the real producers and the entrepreneur side, like as you know, in real estate, because you guys are all entrepreneurs and you guys are all your own business owners. You guys get beat down every day.
Every day.
Right? And so that's another thing that is kind of created me almost not like I don't have emotion. I definitely have emotion. I'm excited, but I'm just ready. I'm ready for the next wave.
That's
I'm
right.
ready for the up, and I'm ready for the down. Right? Because if you can't prepare for both, you're not in the right headspace. Right?
Man, I'll tell you what you do is tough, and what I do is tough. But it's amazing with the podcast and the show, just talking to people. Most people don't know any of this stuff about you. Now they know.
The thing about podcasts is I love it because I'm excited about a podcast for a couple different reasons. We get to document what we're doing. We get to document how we sound, what we look like. Let's rewind for a little bit here, right? If you read a book, right, from someone that's passed away 100 years ago, the only thing you have is the words that came out of his mouth onto a piece of paper, right? Well, we are documenting our conversation. We're able to spread the word almost instantaneous. We don't have to go through this whole, printing, publishing, all that kind of stuff. We can record this and get the knowledge, get the information, get the experiences out right away. So podcasts are just a new way of, in a sense, documenting journeys, right? Which was writing books.
That's right.
So, but people forget that.
And through time, it's changed so much, right? I mean, I look at even my life. It went from podcasts to VHS recorders, tape recorders, and then pictures that you'd have to get developed.
Now it's not even pictures; it's videos, right?
And my kids only know iPads and iPhones and text to talk and stuff like that. I mean, it's
crazy.
It's amazing.
I was thinking as I was working out yesterday, I was like, I was doing a workout on a row machine, so I couldn't text. And my thought was, well, there's going to be a point where I can say, hey, text so-and-so this. And I just think it, and it happens.
That's right.
It will. I mean, soon, right? Because why do we need to pick up a phone and say it? Like, we should be able to just kind of think it, and it should go. Text Joe, I'll be there at 8 tomorrow. Bye.
Your phone knows. I'm probably going to get ads on drones when I get done with the podcast.
100%.
So, Andrew, take me back to a little bit more like as a kid. Did you play sports growing up? Like, what was life like as a young kid?
I did, and I broke everything, so it didn't go very well.
Yeah.
I played football and baseball. I got a little bored in baseball. I was kind of standing out there. I was like, all right, I want to do something.
You're going to use that big body. I mean, I can imagine you like to hit some people.
Yeah, so I was like, let's do this football thing. So anyways, I did that. Ankles were shot. I then I got hit on my knee with a helmet, so that tore ACL, MCL there. My kneecap was on the side of my leg, not good there.
How's it now?
It's great, it's fine. This one, I had a benign tumor. Doctor messed up, thought it was malignant. That was a scary time in my life. The growth pattern did look malignant, which is cancerous, but we're blessed that it was benign. So for about 4 days until they did the official biopsy, I thought I had cancer, and my mom was not happy being her only child had cancer, and she was a cancer survivor. So it was a bad. I was 16 though.
Yeah.
My mental, I was indestructible. Right. When you're 16, you're like nothing affects.
You're gonna
me.
live forever.
Yeah.
For sure.
So I was like, it's all good, Mom, and she's over here like bawling.
Yeah.
And then so they removed that.
When you were younger though, like playing these, is this in actually playing football, or is it just like in a league?
This is all playing football in high school.
Okay.
And so then that was my sophomore junior year, and so they had to remove the bone tumor and put graft and like a plate and 13 screws in that. So that really like set me back too, because I was wheelchair and then crutches for a while. So I never like fully like in a sense recovered from it. Also, I missed my junior year, which is when the recruits were. So
Sure.
that was it for football. I was like, well, it was a good run. But I'm glad too because I mean, I'm already hurting enough, right, from football.
Yeah.
If I kept playing it, like I feel like I'd be a broken record.
Boy, when those coaches were sitting in the hallways, letting kids go into classrooms, they seen you walking by and they go, man, we're getting this guy.
I know.
We're not letting him by. How tall are you, Andrew?
I'm only 6'2", 6'3", somewhere in there.
I feel like you're 6'10".
So I don't know, but I stand up a little bit stronger or a little bit taller than maybe most people.
Back in the day, powerlifting, I mean, it's so much different than today. My kids did do a lot of bands. They don't really want them to bench because your shoulders and joints and everything else. However, we all like to know how much we can push.
For sure,
right?
for sure.
How about you? Back in the day,
So
1 rep.
I will say I got a lot stronger when I was actually in Afghanistan because I was bored. Right, it's like there's nothing you do, and I mean in Afghanistan we were working every day, 12-hour shifts.
Yeah.
Right, so when you're not working, you're bored. You work out. So I got pretty strong there. I would bench around 385, 400, somewhere in there.
4 sewer caps on each side.
Yeah, so I was right around there. That was the max there. Deadlifts over 5, and yeah, squats was over 4 too.
Nice.
There. So we did like 1,000-pound club. Amongst those three, you had to be over 1,000.
That's
so,
impressive.
Yeah, that was fun. So
I'll tell you a funny story. Back in the day, I used to work out real hard. Creatine, doing the whole thing. And a buddy of mine, we're like, we're going to max out today, and I did 335 for 2 reps. And I said, wow, this seems kind of light today. Next time I go to the gym, I tried it again. The week after, I tried it again, and it felt like 1,000 pounds. So I called my buddy up and I said, hey man, how much were you doing when you were pulling up on the bar? And he said, oh, it was all you. But I think he was doing some upright rows.
Yeah, exactly.
I think 315 was about my max.
Yeah.
But it does
still
put some
awesome,
pressure
though.
on your shoulders. And
Dude, I don't even come close to that, honestly. Well, I have a slip disc now too, so the squats are very different. But honestly, I tell everyone when I go to the gym now, I'm about the squeeze of the muscle. I'm about
That's right.
repetitions.
So much different.
All these
right?
different things, not how much weight to move.
Back
right?
in
That's
the
not
day,
what
it
it's
was just
about.
all about push, how much you can push and pull.
I know. Now I'd break myself.
Unreal. How about today? What do you like to do when you get away from this crazy life you have?
So if I could, I would golf, but golfing takes too much time. So I only golf here and there when I get the opportunity. And I love boating. I love going out. That's kind of like our family time. So we grew up boating. So I love getting on the water.
Boating, or do you like to fish as well?
I don't fish.
Okay.
We don't have a boat to fish. Do I like fishing? Yes.
Yeah.
But the fishing here, I mean, you can do the intercoastal, which is great. But obviously, you're not doing offshore because you have to go so far out, right?
Yeah.
So we do it here and there. We just get a guide, and it's the best, right?
Yeah.
They use their boat and their stuff, and you run out, get a group of 6 guys or something like that, and hunker down
That's
for
right.
2 hours,
Yeah.
and then fish, and then hunker down on the way back.
Hopefully, on the way back, the waves aren't kicking, and it's
Exactly.
not raining and everything else, right?
So that's it.
Was that Deadliest Catch? You ever seen that show?
Oh my God, yeah.
Those guys got it
That's
bad.
insane.
They
That's
got it
silly.
bad. Anytime
thank
I'm on
you.
the water and the tide's ripping and it's bouncing, I think of those poor guys. That's what actually gets me through it. Mindset, right? I'm
Totally. It's not even close to that.
We're
so
not
you're
talking
fine.
in the barren sea. or
Perfect Storm.
Yeah. Oh man.
That movie.
You don't want that.
That was bad. So I love that. And I love working out. I mean, that's about it right now.
Yeah. Wife go to the gym with you?
No.
You don't work out as a couple?
No, we're not. That's my kind of time to I put my headphones on, I have a hat. I don't want to talk. I don't want to do it. I want to get the stress out. That's my time. Yeah. So other than that, I love shooting. I love going to the range. That's about it.
Yeah, that's fun. So when you go to the gym in the mornings, are you an early riser?
I'm actually an afternoon gymmer.
Oh,
right
you
now.
are? Okay.
I used to be a morning gymmer. I love that to start my morning.
Yeah.
But just with everything moving around and changing right now, and then where I go to work out, and then where I live, it's kind of tough. So I've been doing the afternoons.
Sure.
I have a lot more power too. I like it.
Pretty weak at 5 in the morning. That's my, you know my morning routine.
Oh yeah.
Andrew, you've heard all my shows because you usually sit in the same room. Morning routine. Tell me about it.
So my morning routine is to get up. I love to, first of all, you need to replenish the body. So I take all my vitamins in the mornings. I take electrolytes. That's the first thing I do, and drink a big thing of water. Because if I don't do that, like your mind's not, your body and your mind are dormant, right? They're still sleeping.
Yeah.
You got to get them firing. You got to get that metabolism going. You need to replenish the body. So that's my first part. I get that going, and then I start, love my coffee. We moved out to the, first part of the estates, like, and so we have some land, and I love that. I love being able to hang out on the.
You sit on the front porch and have a coffee?
Oh, the back lanai, that's my thing.
That's great.
We got the trees, we got deer, we got all kinds of stuff. The dog loves it. So we do that, enjoy some coffee, hang out, and I talk about what our day's like.
You and your wife get up about the same time then?
Roughly. Sometimes she has to go in early because she works for Dr. Church, so she has to go in for a surgery, sometimes early, sometimes not. So it kind of depends. And then I start kind of doing my thing. I don't like to dilly-dally too much, so I like to try to get ahead of the day.
Yeah.
So I'll start with my emails and rock and roll.
Yeah. That's awesome. Just the thought of that, you sitting on the back porch with the wife, coffee, looking at acreage, that must be really nice.
Yeah.
We do have some properties. Well, we don't live there full time, but when we go there, it's pretty special. Can you sit out there and just put your phone down?
Oh, yeah. You can hear the birds. You can hear everything. Like, it's different.
Yeah.
They are building a house next to us, so we hear that right now.
Yeah.
But once that's done, and before they were there, it's like unbelievably tranquil.
Because typically, most people are on their phone swiping, swipe, and all of a sudden you look at the clock, like, oh man, I got to get out of here. It's
I know.
Whatever time. How about at night? Can you shut off the switch?
Yeah, my wife gets a little bit angry at me sometimes.
I don't mean the light switch.
Right?
I mean the switch. The switch.
Or the switch. I get you, man. So like, yes and no. I mean, just what I said is I don't want to like waste time and get ahead. One of the biggest things about 2 years ago, I used to set it as like a New Year's goal, but like it's not a New Year's goal. It was just a straight like better myself. I would try to respond. I try to get back. I try to do what I can to not get behind, right? And so if I can quick fire off that like yes, no text or yes, no email, I mean, you've gotten plenty of late responses from me, right? So like I don't, in a sense, if I don't respond to you, it's because I'm busy. Like it's not that I don't want to respond.
Yeah, you're not
to you.
looking at your phone and going, I'm not going to respond. Yeah.
And that's actually a funny thing that like people are kind of shocked when they text me. I have read receipts on. It's very transparent. Like, have I read it or not?
Yeah.
Like, it's not like I'm ignoring you. Like, I haven't read it. I haven't looked at it. When I look at it and read it, I will respond to you.
Yeah, that's right.
I will either give you the answer you need, or I will say, let me get back to you. Let me go get the answer.
Right.
And I try to do that for text messages, and I try to do that for emails.
Yeah.
Or I delegate, right? You're in a business, and
That's
you
right.
obviously run it. If I'm like, I don't have that answer, but my team will get it to you in a second.
And you will. You're great
and
about
then
that, by the way.
I have to make sure my team will deliver that, right?
You're kind of running the show, my show, literally. I
well, that's
trust
the thing. You have to figure it out. You have to be responsive, and that's what you expect, right? As the client, right? And I think people forget that. People forget that the world that we live in is that communication is number one.
Yeah.
Right? Because you can have communication of good things, communication of bad things, but at the end of the day, you have to have communication.
Yeah, that's right. A lot of clients laugh when they text me late and they say, Joe, you don't have to respond. My thought is, hey, let me respond now because then I have to do it tomorrow.
That's exactly it.
And they laugh. They go, oh, that kind of makes sense, right?
Yeah.
Get it, kind of get it all done.
Well, that's the thing. Like, back in the day, my mom used to make the to-do list. I'm a to-do lister. Right?
Yeah.
I want to check that box.
You write it down?
It doesn't matter when it is. Yeah. It doesn't matter when it is.
It's good.
It's like,
good
now?
stuff.
Yes?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. If it's 10 o'clock at night, if I can do it, great. If I can't, if I'm out to dinner, I'm this or whatever, right? Or we disconnect. We had a long day yesterday, and we don't watch very much shows, but we did decide to start the Linus show or whatever. It's pretty good. So we watch a show. It's like, okay, I'm not going to respond now, right? You know what I mean? Like it's that mental. So I do turn the switch off, but if you don't get it done, no one else is going to get it done.
Yeah.
Right?
You're right.
People forget when you're in that seat, the seat that you're in, Joe, or the seat of an entrepreneur or business owner, however you want to look at it. It's not like a 9 to 5 when at 5 o'clock it's someone else's problem.
All day. Yeah.
Right?
It's all day.
You can't turn that off. Like when you clock out, yes, you are done. Right? In our roles, we don't. Right?
No.
And no one else is going to do it. You can't be like, oh, someone else will take care of it if I don't. The next shift, right? Like that mentality, the next shift will get it done. No. There's no one else. That's it. So
it's you.
So you get it done.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you got to do it tomorrow.
Just make
or
it
get up
happen.
earlier.
Andrew, like I said, you're in the room most of the time when I'm doing these shows.
Mm-hmm.
This is a lot of stuff I talk about. You kind of Just saying it because I'm here?
Yeah.
You're just saying
it. No,
I'm just kidding. No, but that's cool. We kind of think the same way.
We do.
Now when you start having kids, that comes into play eventually. Maybe, maybe if you decide to have kids down the road.
Oh, yeah.
Then it changes things a little bit, right? When your phone rings and you're with them and the phone rings, you want to be with them, but your phone's ringing. There's a process to it.
It's challenging.
I'm going to have you back here after you have kids.
I'm going to have to reach out to you and be like, Joe, how do I do this? How do I handle this?
Yeah. Exactly. Andrew, in business and real estate, there's a lot of times I get calls, cold calls. I mean, all day long. They come up potential spam.
Yeah.
So you kind of feel like there's, but sometimes one sneaks through where it's an important call, but it comes up spam, right? But people call, they want to, market all day long. New systems, lead generation, blah, 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 right? For you, real producers, I mean, when you first called me, I actually saw your magazine and I thought it was pretty cool. I think Patrick, shout out to Patrick. He was on the cover.
He's on one of the
first
covers.
And I said, look at this guy, right? And then all of a sudden, I'm like, I'm surprised, Andrew hasn't reached out. And you did a few weeks later. And you said, hey, man, you want to be a part of this? I was already sold on it, but I was sold on you, obviously. But it's got to be so hard for you to reach out to people because you have such a great product. And if people would just listen to you and give it 2 seconds on the phone, right? They would believe in what you do, like I did. I said, hey, this is the guy. Was it hard in the beginning to get people to respond to you?
Very, very much so. I had a CRM of tracking when I called people to make sure I wasn't harassing anyone or anything like that. And the thing is, and I'm not mad at any of my amazing agents that are especially huge supporters now, but they don't know what you don't know. And when you're in a business like yourself that you are getting called to market and this, all the things you say, you guys get 8 different calls on, hey, do you want to do this?
That's
or,
right.
Hey, do you want to be featured? It's going to cost this much. Like you guys are already getting that call from other people.
Yeah.
So your guard's going to be up, right? Now, the difference in us versus what those are is it's not a pay to play. So when you're featured, like Joe, Patrick, whoever, right? When you guys are featured, it's supported by our businesses, and that's the biggest difference. So the only reason I am calling is because you're in a certain threshold. You've made the criteria of being a top producing agent, and you're a real producers of that year.
Sure.
So that was the struggle, is to try to get someone to believe that. Because how many times, do you get a call that says, oh, yeah, it's going to be free? Well, there's no way it's free.
For the first month, right?
Right, exactly. Yeah. Like, there's no way it's free. So when I'm like, well, it actually is in a sense.
Yeah.
Like, obviously we would love your support, different things like that. Like, there's other things that kind of go into it, but it's not a monetary, like, spend money afterwards.
Sure.
I mean, you got featured. It's like you're not paying for the feature. It's supported by this. And once they understand that, they're like, dude, I love it. Like, this is awesome, right?
100%.
But it was a challenge. Chris Lacka, right? I literally was the officiant for his wedding. And the joke is, because everyone was like, dude, there's this 30-year-old that's crushing it. You need to call him. At that time, he was 20-something. So you need to call him. So everyone referred me to this guy.
Yeah.
I had the call log of him just ignoring me. I'll call you back, voicemail. I mean, and in his phone, it was annoying magazine boy, right? Like, it was that dynamic, right? Finally, he took the challenge. He took all right, dude, like,
okay, I'll pick up, right?
And then we sat down. Awesome. Loved it. He was featured. We became great friends. Like, the rest is history, right? But
the beginning, the breakthrough.
It doesn't have to be real producers. If someone's listening to that right now, don't stop. Just because you got some no's, don't give up, right? Like, if I would have gave up, then look at that friendship I wouldn't have ever had, right?
That's right. You got to push through, right? Same thing in me. I call sellers sometimes, and I don't call expired listings, but sometimes I call a seller, and I'm just another agent, that they don't know. They don't know. Just get a million calls. So, Andrew, tell the audience about Real Producers. We're going to talk more about it, but explain what that is.
It's an extremely easy concept to understand. When you look at the big picture of the world, right, or business, it's not what you know, it's who you know. Right? That is huge. That is a huge idea that people forget, right? It's about the connections you have. It's about the resources you can call upon. It's about the people, right? So it's all about relationships, right? And people that are in business are going to understand that tenfold. Well, that's exactly what Real Producers is. It's about connecting the best of the best in the real estate community. So it's the top realtors, which we go off numbers, according to MLS, who's actually closing the deals, right? To make sure that we're validating these agents are the best. And then it's the businesses that are recommended. So like when we met, you recommended a certain amount of businesses. Those are the businesses that have the chance to be a part of Real Producers. So we are making sure that the businesses are vetted. They're good at what they do. They're working with top agents already, and they're looking to help other agents. So it's a value add to them. They're the ones that financially support it through advertisement, through sponsorships to the events, different things like that. So they are financially committing themselves to the organization of supporting the top agents, which is their referral source.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you what, anybody that doesn't use Real Producers and is in the business, you got to give this guy a shout. I did. I'm part of it. Can't make it to every event, and I appreciate you understanding that. But different cool events. It is connecting, right? Connecting mortgage brokers or realtors, title companies, with photographers. I remember when you did my shoot for the cover, right? I mean, it was legit.
Oh, yeah.
Showed up. We did a shoot on the golf course. You had a professional. That was a Pure Photography, I think, came out.
Yeah.
The cover, the
whole shebang.
I mean, it was legit, right? I think I was one of the first. What number was I?
I think it was like 4 or 5.
Yeah.
Like you were pretty close up there. Yeah.
But then when I got on the cover, it was amazing how many people had messaged me. Joe, great job. Nice cover. Nice cover. I'm like, this is kind of a big deal.
It is.
And then I start seeing you on social media, promoting realtors. Like I said, that's why you're here, because you don't talk about yourself. So that's
the one thing I want to state too is, like, when you look at the real estate community, it's always been so individual. Been like an agent or it's a brokerage or whatever. Like, it's always been in that little small like group, right? Yeah. And the big thing that what we're trying to do is break down those barriers, right? So if you're a business and you're trying to, let's say, get this brokerage on board, you can go to that brokerage alone, and you're going to get the top agents, the middle agents, and the low agents, right? All in that brokerage. Or you can go to specific single individual agents, right? The whole idea for us, though, is let's break down those barriers. So it doesn't matter if you're at X, Y, and Z brokerage and so-and-so's there. We're going off of who's producing.
That's right.
And that's the mentality behind it. Let's bring together them, and let's allow the businesses to market to the agents that are at the top echelon. And make it exclusive and private.
That's great. Exactly. Well, you look at the events, right? It's all the realtors in the same room. Everybody's sort of competition in a sense with everybody else.
But we don't have any buyers or sellers there.
Yeah.
So there's no competition, because if you see Patrick and he's got a listing that's off market and you have a buyer, boom, you guys just made a deal together.
That's right.
And you both get paid. Great. You both put more money in your pocket and it helps for your family.
Yeah.
Done.
And it's cool because it's kind of what I believe in as well. It's like, let's put all these people in the same room who are somewhat competition, but they should all be friends. And that's what I do in my business. Shake hands, talk to realtors. When the phone rings, I answer the calls. If agents have questions about marketing, Joe, I see you do this. Does it work? Whatever. I think it's so important to connect with your competition, because you can all be friends.
You don't have to learn so much.
Yeah, you don't have to not get along with each other because you're both realtors. I got plenty of some of my closest friends are in the business.
I can't stand that. And you know what? When I first started, Joe, people gave me that. I would never want to do this with another realtor. And I'm like, you know what? You are so scarce mindset. Like, that scarce mindset is not going to help you, right? Yeah. Because at the end of the day, like I said, there's no buyers or sellers, so there's not really that competition. And you guys need each other, right? It takes two usually. Now, if you're double-siding it, great, good job, congratulations. But most of the time, there's two people, and you have to get along. So why not strengthen that relationship prior to going into a transaction together, right?
100% agree.
So if I have a relationship with you and I see you're the listing agent, I'm like, yo, Joe, what's up, baby? It's like that relationship's already there, right? And that can establish the Real Producers.
At your event, it was funny because my mom, my dad, my wife, they were all there kind of up by the front, right?
Yeah.
So I went to get a drink, and I couldn't get back. Hey, what's up, what's up? You're just walking back to your table, and there's just millions of friends along the way. Yeah. It's the way it should go.
It is. It's a beautiful time. And it's crazy to see what happens in a room when you get that many successful people together. Yeah. I mean, it really is.
How many people were at that party, by the way?
Tom
talked about the gala, by the way.
The gala, yeah, we had 380 guests.
So what was the total invite?
It was just to the 500 agents in Lee County and Fort Myers. There's a couple bleed over, like yourself and a few others that do volume in both markets that qualify. So there's a little bit of a bleed over, but just under 1,000.
So the events have grown over the years, right? Your first event, second, third, they just have gotten kind of bigger and bigger. What's it going to look like for the future? I mean, by the way, the gala was insane. full blown. I mean, it was like the Grammys, really. I mean, it was tons of people. It was done at Elite Jets, right? I can only imagine what it was like to plan it. I mean,
it was
it's
intense.
Like, we see how perfect it went, but planning these things, there's always hiccups, right? Tell me about some of the hiccups.
So you're totally right. Like it from a end user standpoint, it did go very well. I was very happy with it. But like you don't know what you don't know, and leading up to it, I didn't know. I didn't do that level of event.
Yeah.
I've never done where I have to be on stage for 45 minutes. I've never done all these things, right? So there was hiccups. So first of all, like, I didn't anticipate it taking that long to get through those awards. So I'll probably, not do as many awards, right?
Sure.
Because I don't want to be up on stage that long. I want it to be, efficient. I want everyone to have a good time. We didn't expect it to be that hot, obviously. Like that wasn't, it's a November event. It's supposed to be beautiful.
Can't
right?
control that.
This, right? It can't control it. There's things like that, but we can plan for it, right? Plan for ahead. The timeline was not aligned with my timeline. You guys didn't know it, but I had a very strict timeline.
Sure.
And things were not getting done in the right time. Now, we made it work and we improvised, right? But those are things that you wouldn't know. But yeah, you guys like to drink. We may or may not have ran out of alcohol and had to get an emergency delivery during the event.
Yeah.
But we made it work. We made it work.
So I'm assuming that was the case. But I think you probably saved a little bit of alcohol too, because you're handing the microphone to people.
Yeah, exactly.
I was in the middle of getting a drink and I saw people start getting the mic, and I said, I got to stop.
Yeah, exactly. You can't
get on stage. Can I have a Coke instead?
Yeah, exactly. Please,
Mountain
Diet Coke. Yes, that would be
Red
great.
Bull.
Yeah,
hold the vodka. Hold the vodka.
Vodka Red Bull. Hold the vodka.
By the way, thanks for handing the microphone to everybody.
Of course.
That was a surprise.
Not everyone liked it. Not everyone wanted to speak. That was for sure. I got that feedback. But at the end of the day, it was like, you can choose not to, but I want them to feel that I mean, they won. They got the votes. I mean, that's how we did it, right? So it's like, this is your time. If you want to chat.
And your way about it, though, too, you kind of handed the mic and you were like, do you want to speak? Yeah, man, I'm up here. Let's
do it.
Let's make it happen. But it was a big deal, though. And you feel like you're such a part of something so big. And I was kind of looking around the room and I started seeing the awards that were given.
The big awards.
Like, man, I don't know if you start thinking of things you might say if you just so happen to get called up there.
Yeah. Some tough crowd too.
Yeah.
I mean, that was the thing. There was a lot of people that got nominated, and there was 5 recipients for every single award.
Yeah.
So I mean, we had 5,000 individual votes. We blocked if the IP was the same and if the email was the same.
Sure.
So we made sure that there was no duplicates and people couldn't vote twice. And so we had 5,000 individual votes, which is a lot for 10 awards, 15 awards.
Some of the things we would wonder would be, does the person on the stage handing the award, do they know who the winner is?
No, they don't.
Yeah, it's pretty impressive.
That was a really challenging thing. I'll say that was something that I'm going to learn a lot and figure out how to do, because I have to give them a little bit of a pre-warn, like at least an idea, so that they can have some talking points or something. But I mean, they had no clue. So
you did it right though, because they would spill the beans for sure.
They would spill it.
Yeah.
There's
no way.
There's no way, right? So like no one knew. Now I obviously knew. I was the only one, and my team knew. But no one else knew. So until they opened that envelope, they didn't know.
Sure.
And so, at least some of them knew the recipient that was so they could talk. Like Lauren was giving out Patrick's, and like I knew they had a relationship, so I knew she could speak on
That's
him. Right. And so there was like things like that, and like Gio gave yours, and like I could see that, and I knew like the relationship, so that helped a little bit. But it was challenging.
Yeah. But I figured that was the case, because
they all asked me so many times.
I know you.
I'm like,
and I know you're not one to say a word.
Well, you tell one
it's gone.
Done.
It's
right?
gone.
And then everyone's affected by it. I'm like, no, we're not doing that.
Yeah. So next year, it's gonna be a big deal. Where's the next one at the?
It's gonna be big. Let's put it that way. So there's to be determined everything. Now we're looking at elites again. We loved it. I will say this. I want to make sure that if we did it there, that it would be cooler and different things like that. I loved it. They're awesome to work with. So but it's challenging. Like people don't realize like. I had to bring in everything. I had to bring in a generator. I had to bring in not a porta-john, but like literally a big bathroom system, a trailer, right?
Sure.
And it had an attendant and everything. I mean, like you have to bring in everything. You have to build a kitchen at an aircraft hangar, right? Like it's a lot, right? So anyways, we'll
I could
figure it
only
out.
imagine. And next year, maybe you fly everybody out to the moon.
Yeah, I was thinking about
talk to Elon, see if he can get you up there.
I think we could do that, right?
So
Ticket price might go up a little bit.
So you guys do a lot of other things too, events and a lot of social media posts. The magazines, by the way, I've
That's a
noticed
staple,
they have gotten so thick over the years, right? Thicker they get, the more expensive they are to send out. I get about 5 of them, by the way, just so you know.
Okay.
So if you want to save, 4 magazines.
Oh, you get 5.
I
Yeah,
do get 5,
that much volume?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I just get 5. So I don't know why. So if you maybe want to save a little bit,
Yeah.
send them to 4 other people.
Oh, okay.
But we actually do save them though, and it's cool because it's a cool coffee table book, right? I do have a stack of the monthlies, which is awesome.
Well, it's interesting. It's fun to see, the other people. Obviously, you know your peers, your other agents, and you get to read about them. That's the whole idea again, is strengthen relationships. So you see, so and so on there, and then you read about, you're like, dude, I had no clue.
Oh yeah,
Pavich is this, and this. Like, wait, what? He's this? Like, his kids go to this school. I didn't even know.
That's right.
It's like, so those kind of things are fun for people to review and see.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, that's the greatest thing. It's just talking with people. Podcasts for me, I talk to people all day. People would say, Joe, how are you going to do a podcast? It's just fun. Meeting people, bringing out stuff other people don't know. Most people didn't know this stuff about you.
And you learn so much, but now you're able to share it.
That's right.
And that's why podcasts are so powerful.
Yeah.
I mean, we already talked about podcasts and the world of podcasting, but you get to share it now. Like, I have such a beautiful blessing of being able to interview top agents like yourself. And there's so many times that I've had literally in this conference room over there, the best conversations with the best people. But guess what? It's just me and them.
Yeah. Yeah.
If I could record every single one and be able to share that with the world and share that with people, unreal.
Those
right?
are all podcasts.
They're all podcasts. They're amazing amounts of content and good content. So anyways, what you're doing is being able to document it is awesome.
Yeah. Well, you're definitely an old soul in a sense. I mean, I know you feel like you're just out there helping people, but people look up to you. Like I said.
I
said on the,
Well, I appreciate that. And the thing is, though, the one thing I like, and you had mentioned that, I guess, spotlight other people all the time. What I love is I get to give recognition when recognition is due. Does that make sense? Like, our idea behind Real Producers, again, is not a pay to play. It's because they've done a certain amount of volume. So it's like they deserve it.
Yeah.
You deserve it. The people that are out there grinding on those ebbs and flows and taking a beating, they deserve it.
Sure.
So, like, it's rewarding to me to be able to give the light and give the limelight to whoever because they actually deserve it.
Yeah.
So it's awesome.
Andrew, where from here? I mean, obviously you have Naples, Fort Myers, Lee County. Are there other areas you might expand into?
Possibly. There's so much beautiful opportunities, so many beautiful opportunities here locally.
Sure.
And with the connections I've built, figuring out ways to like tap into that. So I wanna perfect my Real Producers to the 10th degree. So there's other things I want to do within Real Producers and grow that. So yeah, there's some other things. I love the creation of videos, different things, my podcast, whatnot. I love all that stuff. So I think I'm still maxed out capacity wise until I probably find someone that really shout if someone's listening to this that would want to chat with me. But I'm looking for kind of a mini me that would want to be a part of Real Producers and kind of have that flexibility in a sense of an entrepreneurship, but doesn't have to have the risk, right? Because I've created the business and it's fully functioning at this point. So have that ability to grow a company in a sense and be a part of almost a business-like, business owner mindset, but not have the risk. So if you know someone or someone's listening, but that's kind of the big next step, right?
Sure.
Because if I can get some of my time back, then I could look at, other things, other areas, different things like that.
Well, it's the same business as mine in a sense, right? It's people start off, you get a few agents underneath you. All of a sudden, you got a couple names, couple advertisers. Then it goes to 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. All of a sudden, now Andrew, even though he's a big guy, he needs another person, right, to help.
Yeah, I know.
All of a sudden, you have 100, 200, 300. I mean, it's hard for you, right? I mean, that's got to be some struggles on keeping people on your team to keep everything going smooth. There's a lot to do.
I know. I'm blessed. I have some amazing people on my team that I'll make it happen. Without them, I always tell them, I would not be able to do it. I'm very reliant on them, and they know that, and they appreciate that. Because the other thing is too is like, being a leader, you can't micromanage them. It's not going to go well.
That's right.
So you got to trust them. You got to let them fly, right?
Yeah.
So, I trust them, they trust me, and it's a well-oiled machine.
Yeah, I love it. It's what it's all about. Delegating duties, team, working together. During COVID, and my team asked me, Joe, I guess we're all out of jobs because there's nothing going on. I said, take this time to chill, spend time with your family, recharge, because I'm sure it's going to pick up, and it did.
It got crazy.
It's the way it goes.
The thing is, too, with your team, is people forget, people think it's, I don't know, that, you can't handle it all yourself. It's not that. It's like we all have strengths and weaknesses.
Yeah.
Right? So it's like, why would I, first of all, try to do my weaknesses when someone else is really good at that?
Yeah.
Let them be efficient at it. Because what are we all trying to do? Service our clients, right?
That's right.
So if I have people doing all their strengths rather than me trying to do weakness, if I do my weakness with my client, right, if I'm doing that action, which is a weakness, I'm doing a disservice to my client.
Totally.
If I hire someone or bring someone on to delegate and that's their strength, I'm now doing a better service to my client.
Yeah.
So.
They got to think like Andrew. What would Andrew do? What would Joe do?
There you go.
Andrew, let's talk about a couple things, a couple questions I like to ask now. Is movies. Are you a movie guy?
Joe, I've watched your podcast. I know you're
I
going to
know,
ask me this.
I know.
You know I'm not. I'll try my best, but I'm not a movie guy. Here's the deal. I used to watch some movies back in the day, but it really goes back to, it sounds bad, it goes back to the time thing. Like, they're long. Like, me and my wife can barely get through a show.
Yeah.
Because I've just been on all day. Like, when it's that time to be able to watch a show, like, I crash. And my wife's like, can you not stay awake? I'm like, no, like, I'm tired, right? So it's like, I barely get through an hour show, right? Like, so it's tough for me.
So if I one-line movies to you, you're not going to know what that means, right?
No. And you know what's really bad is I'm terrible at actors.
Oh, yeah?
I'm just the worst. People say actors. I'm like, well, that guy, like, I'm a face guy.
Face guy, yeah. But names.
I'm not a name guy. I'm like, we watched a show and it was like, oh my God, that's the same guy in that other one, right? And then my wife says the name. I'm like, I don't know the name, but I know the face. Yeah.
So if I throw a line at you, I'll throw an easy one. Meatloaf. Ma, meatloaf.
Yeah, I know. Yes. That's the llama. I'll
give you a hint. That's Vince Vaughn.
No, don't tell me
Okay,
actors.
Vince Vaughn's in it.
It's
V.
What?
Owen Wilson, Vince Vaughn.
Isn't Meatloaf like isn't it the llama, like the pet llama or something like that?
Oh, that's close.
Right?
That was old school. Wedding Crashers.
Oh.
Meatloaf. Ma.
Damn it. Oh.
Yeah,
dang it.
That was a good one.
Yeah, okay. See, this is the problem. I get them all.
I kind of went, but you were in the right. You were down the right path.
I was trying.
You were close.
I was
How about music? What do you listen to?
So, I love country because it kind of soothes my soul, kind of thing. It's like relaxing. I love country, but I love like all the. I never liked it until I used to do like hard rock, and now I like the kind of housey stuff because I love working out to it.
Okay.
So like I love that they make remixes to things. So I go on this like remix housey thing.
Love it.
And so like it would be like a normal song that they like hyped up. Oh, I go to the gym, listen to that. It's like higher BPM or whatever.
Sure.
So like it gets you going, and I love that stuff now.
I was talking to a guy at the gym the other day, and I said, "What are you listening to?" He says, "Viking music." Mm-hmm. Viking music.
When I power lift, oh man, A Day to Remember, all that kind of stuff, like hardcore, Rob Bailey, all that stuff. They're intense.
I'm listening to Nas, and he's got Viking music on. That's pretty crazy.
Can't do like rap anymore when I'm working out.
How about old school rap?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I like it. I most of the time I listen to music when I'm working out. Like I'll listen to music in my vehicle when I'm driving here and there, but. Actually, Ryan Chodo was the one that told me, why would you waste that time in your vehicle? And I was like, man, that was powerful.
Pretty deep.
I was on podcast.
That's pretty deep.
He goes, that's when I play catch up. So he always makes calls when he's in his vehicle. So I've been trying to do that. I'm like, who do I need to call? Who do I need to touch base? And the thing is, how many times do you call someone when you need something?
Yeah.
Right? Almost every time.
You're right.
Every time. Well, change that. You know what I mean? Call someone not because you need something.
That's right.
Call them and just say, what's up?
Hi. I do that sometimes. I called my first client about 6 months ago. And they're like, man, great to hear from you. I still see them on social media. And stuff. Social media does connect. And everything. Like magazine, Real Producers connects people, you know.
And that's the beautiful thing about social media, right? You can stay in touch with them without having to reach out, right? You post a picture of you and the family. I'm like, cool, Joe's doing this. Joe's on a vacation, whatever. Like, cool. I didn't need to call you, right? Back in the day, you needed to call Joe be like, Joe, what's going on? You tell me about how you went on vacation. Yeah. Social media has limited it. But, dude, just give a call. And you'll be surprised in what happens.
Totally. Text,
hey, how are you?
Emails, call. Mm-hmm. I'm old school, too. I'll call.
Because you see the name and you go, uh-oh, what do they need?
Yeah.
That's it. That's all you think. You didn't even read anything, right? It could be a funny picture. It could be a meme. It could be something else. But no, we instantly go, what do you need?
Well, everybody relies on technology now. Auto email. They don't even check to see if they respond. They just feel like if they emailed people, that's enough, right? It's not enough. No. So if they don't respond.
I know.
And the heavy amount of email accounts we get today.
Oh, I know.
It's hard to respond to every email.
It's crazy.
Just really put a little star next to them and you know.
And keep them unread. That's my trick.
Yeah.
Because otherwise I'll lose it. I can't keep track.
Andrew, back to music though. You know, my kids are into this new stuff, new rap, right? Juice WRLD and all this stuff. That's terrible. It's terrible.
Yeah, I've heard some of it.
Old school is the real deal. They don't make it even like movies. They don't make movies like they used to. They don't make music like they used to, you know?
It's just different. It's different, and we don't appreciate it. You know, they appreciate it because it's like more techy and it's more like new, like you said, new age.
Sure.
And I get it in some worlds, right, and some of that music stuff. But like, if what you're listening to is for the lyrics and you're for like the beat, like that's what the staple should be, not like I don't know, just word vomiting on the screen.
At least some of the beats are good though. That's a good thing. Some of the newer beats are
some of them are good.
But some of the old stuff is much better for sure.
Yeah.
So Andrew, I think the message for today really is, it's all about, you have a product that really will help people, right? Sometimes people won't open up the door and let you in, and it's hard to really push through and let people know how good this will help them, right? It's very hard to, because in today's day and age, you get so many phone calls and technology. It's just really beats you up. People might miss opportunities sometimes if they don't just pick up the phone and work with someone. But you're in the same business as me in a sense. It's people, right? It's working with people, creating an event and parties and bringing people together. And real estate for me, it's all about, getting together with people, not afraid to call a competitor, talk to someone, congratulate your competition. But it's all about just being a good team player. And I think for you in sports, you played sports, you're in a team, right? It's all about working together.
Amen.
Everybody's working separately because everybody wants to be the next Tom Brady, right? But you're a team.
Yeah, that's 100% it. And the thing is, you go back to, it's again, the relationships you need, right? And yeah, some people won't open the door. And, unfortunately, you can lead a horse to water, you can't make him drink, right? I can't force them to.
Yeah.
But I'll say this, we did a testimonial video yesterday, right? And it's like that partner of mine took the leap of faith, signed up for an agreement to be a part of Real Producers. And the doors have opened tremendously, right? And she's so appreciative, and so it's like, I've had a lot of meetings where they're like, no, I won't invest in myself. I won't invest in my business, right? From the vendor side, right? The agents, obviously, you guys don't pay. And I have no clue why you wouldn't want to be a part, right, on the agent side. But from the vendor side, if you're committing to a financial investment, right? But people forget, you have to invest in yourself, right?
That's right. Spend money, even in good times.
It takes money to make money, right?
That's right. Even in down times, you still got to spend the same amount of money to keep pushing your name out there. But I got to tell you, seriously, I mean, to tell agents that if they are able to make it into that tier where they have the opportunity to work with the big guy, they should.
Yeah.
Because it's a great opportunity. And if other people out there, businesses or whoever it is, they want to grow their business, they want to be a part of something, be a part of Real Producers.
Yep.
Because you're the real deal.
Love it.
Andrew, great seeing you. It's great to have you on the other side because, like I said, usually this is your seat.
Yeah.
You've helped me. You got me going with the podcast. Also, Hyperion Hub, John Alois, my best friend. He got me going as well. And between you two, critiquing my show and everything, you guys helped me.
Keep it going. You're learning a lot, but here's the deal. You're rocking it, man. Like, there's certain people that are just meant to be in front of the camera, and that's you, buddy.
Maybe that's my thing. Andrew, thanks again, man.
Joe, it's honor to be on here. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
I appreciate you.
So we'll see you guys in the next
All
episode.
right.